Subordination is making a dependent clause as part of a complex sentence. A dependent clause is subordinate or less important than the main independent clause. Here's what I mean. Here's a compound sentence. Allison got dressed for the party, but she didn't really want to go. In a compound sentence, both parts are equal. The fact that Allison got dressed for the party and that she didn't want to go are of equal importance. Neither one is subordinate. But now let's compare this with a complex sentence. Allison got dressed for the party although she didn't really want to go. The independent clause saying that Allison got dressed for the party is more important. Her not wanting to go is secondary or subordinate. Faulty subordination means making a mistake in forming a complex sentence. Some sources of faulty subordination are logic, commas, and restrictive and non-restrictive pronouns. A subordinate clause begins with a subordinating conjunction or a relative pronoun such as because, until, since, although. To avoid faulty subordination, choose subordinate conjunctions that show a logical connection between the clauses. For example, because the sun is shining, it feels like rain. Obviously, because doesn't make sense in this sentence. The correct subordinating conjunction would be although. Another element of logic is overuse. If you have too many dependent clauses in one sentence, it's confusing for the readers and hard to follow. To correct overuse, subdivide the sentence. Another potential source of faulty subordination is comma usage. A subordinate clause at the beginning of a sentence is followed by a comma. If it comes in the middle, it's often separated from the rest of the sentence using commas before and after. But if the dependent clause comes at the end, a comma is not usually needed. A subordinate clause can begin with a relative pronoun like that, which, or who. Now, although these words are sometimes treated interchangeably, especially that and which, they are slightly different. The relative pronoun that is restrictive, which means the information that follows is required. For example, she broke the phone that she bought yesterday. It isn't just any phone that she broke, it's the one that she bought yesterday. This is necessary information and it can't be left out because it defines which phone, so it doesn't have a comma. On the other hand, which is non-restrictive, meaning it just adds some extra information. For example, she broke the phone, which she bought yesterday. Which just adds some information about the phone. It could be left out of this sentence, so it's preceded by a comma. When you make complex sentences, be sure to use the right words and the right punctuation.